Hello. Everybody is excited this morning. Hello. Hey, you knocked over my trash barrel. Hi, everyone. It's Rita from Miss Rita to the rescue here for this morning's Cricut Chat. Happy Veterans Day. If you know or love a veterans, please wish them a happy day and do something special for them, for their courage and for their service to our country. Today we are going to have a lot of fun, including we're going to be giving away some prizes. I'm behind on the November prizes because I wasn't here for Cricut Date Night on Saturday. So I have to get going because time is a wasting. Plus, where are the pups? They were just here. I don't know. They barked and knocked over my trash. Hi, Alexandra from Costa Rica. Hello, everyone. So today we are going to be making a wonderful card. Plus, I have a new segment. It sounds so official. I got two really wonderful prizes. I got prizes in the mail from two of our viewers, and I wanted to show you them, and maybe this will be, since I'm participating in the card exchange, maybe this will be the start of viewer mail. Maybe we can do that once a week or once a month or something like that. So I want to show you that, and today we're doing this really beautiful card that upon first glance, I didn't understand what it was, but it's actually different pies, and there's 3 pumpkin or squash pies, and then 3 covered pies with lattice on them, on 2 of them. So I want to show you this card, where to find it, how to do it, and also talk to you about putting an insert in this card. It's a little bit different, and I wanted to show you what I did here. I did 2 different pens, and I want to show you how I did that so that my machine would stop and use a different pen. Because I didn't really care for using this 1.0 millimeter pen. You see, it kind of ran into each other because the letters were smaller. I didn't mind the Happy Thanksgiving there, but I wanted something that looked different. So I want to know if you like this, and I'm going to show you how to do it. So, but first of all, let's stop and say good morning to all of our friends. Hello, Shelley and Leilani and Charity and what else? Someone's in bed. Dawn is in bed. Kirsten, Mary. So hope you're feeling better, Dawn. Hi, Emmy and Carrie, Lynn. Bren, hello, how are you? I got your message. Hi, Deborah and Nikki. Penny, hi. And let's see, Mary Jane and Tara. Nice to see you. And Regina, hello. Diane, nice to see you. So, welcome this morning. Maybe many of you have the day off and you're joining us for the first time in a while during the day. So welcome. I'm so glad you could join us and that you choose to spend some of your day off with us. I'm going to start off by asking if we have any veterans or wives or spouses of veterans here today, and if so, speak up because I want to give you a prize. So if you're a spouse or a mother or a veteran, let me know because I want to give a prize to spouse of a vet. Oh, wonderful, Sarah! Yay! Okay, I got a prize for you, Sarah. I'm going to tell you after we find any more. Oh, Marissa, are you okay? And Heather. So, Marissa, you're raising your hand. Retired Navy wife Ann. Okay, so it looks like we've got one. All right, we've got Sarah. I'm not sure if Marissa is raising her hand to say that she is a spouse. Heather, Daryl, and Susan, and Bren, and okay, so veteran spouse. Okay, so all of the people that raise their hands as spouse of a veteran or a veteran, as long as you haven't won something from me in the last 3 months, so that would be August, September, October, okay? So if you have, would you send me an email? You have to send me an email, okay? Not a PM, because I get confused. I'm easily confused, I guess. And so would you please send me we've got a lot of them. Spouse of okay, Judy. I am both a vet. Tara. Okay, so we're going to do Judy Carter, who's a spouse of a World War II and Korean War vet, and Tara, who's also a vet and the spouse of a vet. Daughter, spouse, sister, my godson is a Fort Drum. Wonderful. Awesome. Army mom. Okay. Sister to 4 vets. That's lovely. So look at all these wonderful people. Thank you so much. Lisa, your husband is a vet. Okay, so the email that we're going to send you're going to send me an email with your address, and depending on how many I get, because I only have I think it's like 16 prizes this month. So depending on how many I get, if you won, if you won in August, September, or October, let's leave some of the prizes for someone who hasn't won at all or in a long, long time. But if you are a spouse or a vet, or both, then please send me an email at missrita@gmail.com, and please give your full address, and it has to be in Canada or the US. So all these different things you must check off, because even though I love my friends overseas, or internationally, I cannot send prizes there. So, US or Canada, spouse, haven't won in 3 months. Send me an email with your full name and mailing address, including zip code, and I will put you on the list for a prize this month. All right. And thank you to all of our spouses and veterans. I know it's very hard to be a spouse of a veteran. I was not a spouse, but I had a boyfriend that was a veteran. It was very difficult, and because he had PTSD. So I want to acknowledge that veterans do get like free coffee and donuts and things like that, but the spouses never do. And so it's a little bit hard, because spouses go through quite a bit as well. Okay. So now that that's over, let's talk about this card, and then we will do viewer mail. Okay, so let's see. This is a wonderful card that I found that originally, on first glance, I didn't really understand it, and it comes in kind of small. So let me show you what it is that I did to find this card. I typed in the phrase, "give thanks." And let's see, I typed in "give thanks," and why is nothing coming up? Something should come up. Why is nothing coming up? Of course, because I'm live, nothing is coming up. But when I typed in "give thanks," I did come to to a bunch of results that included give and thanks and give thanks. And I found a lovely card, but unfortunately nothing is happening here. So I cannot show you where this card is. So let us do this. I'm going to go to image sets because I believe this card is in an image set called Celebrate the Day, which we've done a couple of images from here. Let's see if I can't find it. Celebrate, here it is. Celebrate the Day. It has a number of really beautiful cards. And when I was looking through it, I honestly didn't give it much thought. It was a pretty small image. But then I clicked on it and I found this and I thought, oh, this is perfect for us, for our day. And so that's where it is. It comes in with an envelope, which you guys know I'm not a big envelope fan, but you don't have to be the same as me. You can do whatever it is that you would like here. Let me just go back. And okay, so that's where it comes from. And I'm just gonna delete this, the second one. Oh, okay, here we go. All right, so the envelopes, they're optional, so I always opt not to. It comes in as a 5x7-inch card, so it is a bigger card than we're used to, or maybe you do most of your cards in 5x7. I like this size because I can do it on my Explorer or my Maker, but if you want to do this size on the Joy, you can absolutely size it and then take off the back of this card and instead use a pre-cut insert card if you wanted to, because what it is it's a number of layers. So here's a layer card, right? So sometimes we put we don't do layers and we put things on the very front of the card, but in this case, it has all of these layers to create that look of the pie. And what I want to point out here is that this is the actual card layer. But if you were doing this on a Joy, what you would do is just take off this score line and lop off that back part of the card, and then this would become your top, your bottommost top layer, if that makes sense. Now, what I want to point out here is that there is some writing, and what it ends up being is this silver, which I really like because it looks like whipped cream, you see, and I really, really like it. The only thing is that by putting the card in this way and doing that whipped cream look, which let me show you this part of the card, right? Normally, I would want to put a sentiment on the inside. So what I chose to do, because I cannot do it on both sides of the card, right? So what I chose to do was I chose to make like an insert on the inside of the card. And how did I do that? Super simple. Let me show you how to do that real quickly. And so here's my card, and these all these pieces are the top. And I will tell you, this card does take a bit of time to cut out simply because there's a lot of writing, and the writing is on 1, 2, 3 layers of the card. And so be prepared, especially this top piece has all of this wonderful green writing on it, and then you have that piece with all of the lattice, this one here, and then of course this bottom piece that becomes the whipped cream. Okay, so there's 3 layers that have writing, and you get to choose your pens. For this card, what I chose was a silver for the whipped cream. I chose this, it's called Tawny, it's a 0.4 tip tawny for the lattice. And then what did I choose this jade for? One, two. I thought I chose the jade. Oh yeah, for the top layer. I chose this jade, and I did come up with some really nice jade looking green paper. So what I did was I took and made a square, and I can show you how I did this. I went over to shapes and chose square, and I took, this is my inside of my card. So I wanted to lay it on the inside of the card. I didn't want it to overlap. You can do it this way, and I'm going to show you an alternate way, but you can unlock it and sort of make it about as big, but not quite as big, leaving like 1/4 of an inch all around, and that can be your insert layer. Or you could take one of your layers, like this one, and duplicate it, and then hit contour, hide all contours, and then you have an exact layer, but it's bigger. You still need to make it a little smaller. Okay, so you can do it one of two ways: either grab it from shapes, or duplicate and hide all contours. Okay, so I'm going to choose this duplicate and hide all contours, and I made it smaller. Let me just make it ever so slightly bigger because we want it to not overlap, and having it smaller inside is going to prove useful to us, because remember, this part here has the whipped creamy swirls there, so we cannot put something here or there. So what do? We just create an insert for the card, slightly different than an insert card for the joy. And if you were going to do this in the joy, what you would do to put a sentiment in is use the card mat and just have your sentiment, and then use the card mat to do this. But we're going to use the maker. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to change the color because I like that blue. So if I want to change colors, I can go over here to Color Sync. And I can see here that I have 5 different colors. I have the white, I have the pumpkin, I have the crust, and then this is the top, like the lattice, and then we have this and this. So this is the one that we just created. I'm going to drag it over to green, and here we go. Now I have an insert that's the color, exact color that I want. So the next thing I want to do is I want to add a text box. I'm going to actually add 2 separate text boxes because I want for this one to have a different pen, a different size pen than the actual sentiment. So I want to say Happy Thanksgiving at the top, and then I want a little in the bottom, a little smaller writing. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a text box, and I'm just going to have it say Happy Thanksgiving. Oh, I forgot to put in an exclamation point. Now, in this case, I had already had a text box and switched it over to text, but I'm going to switch it back just simply because I want you to see how I got here. And so when you first put in a text box, it normally comes up as Cricut Sans, which, let me see if I can find it real quick. Here it is. And it is usually a cut. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Happy Thanksgiving. And then I'm going to add in a second text that says, hoping your day is filled with peace, love, and an abundance of joy, or something like that, whatever you want it to say. So the reason why I did it two separate is that I want to use two separate pens. You don't have to do it this way, but I thought for learning purposes it would help. I'm going to change the alignment to center, and what I'm going to do with both of these is I am now going to find a writing font. Okay, so after I typed in these boxes, I'm going to make sure one of them is highlighted with that box around it. And I'm going to go over here to fonts. And there are all our fonts. Now, this can be a little overwhelming looking for a font. And so don't be like concerned when this happens, because there's ways to sort of whittle down the number of fonts that are there. So in this case, we're looking for a writing font. So we want to go over here to filter. It's up here. It is pretty small. And we're going to type or choose in this drop down box. We're going to choose, we have a choice of my fonts. These are fonts that you uploaded. Multi-layer fonts, single layer fonts, and writing fonts. Well, this is a writing font that we're looking for, so we're going to add that as a filter. And when that happens, it cuts down the number of fonts that we have to choose from, and that makes it a lot easier. And in this particular case, I think I chose DJ Inker's, where is it? DJ Inker's Diamondback, it's somewhere here, DJ Inkers. Well, let's choose this one because I don't see it. But I did choose one, and this is what can happen. All right, so we'll choose this one. And you'll notice when you do that, it changes the writing to, it changes it from a cut to a writing style. We're going to do the same thing with this. We're going to go and look at just, want to make sure that we chose writing. Yes, we did. And let's choose, let's say this. Is this the one that I chose before? If you're not sure, when you click on the one that you did choose, which was Dusty Spurs, I'm going to go over here and I can choose it from the drop-down box, which is cool. So there, don't be overwhelmed by all those fonts, and look for ways to make them smaller and less choices, because sometimes there's too many choices. You know what I mean? Okay, so here we've got our two text boxes, and I don't, for some reason, my computer's not working so great today. I don't know why. All right, hello. Okay, so here are our two choices here, and I'm just going to kind of arrange them, and it's really an eye thing. You can change how big it is and how small it is, but you notice that the bottom one is actually smaller, and so I want to use a thinner pen for this. So I need to tell my Cricut that I want to use different pens for this, and so I'm going to do that by choosing each of the boxes. So first I want to choose Happy Thanksgiving, and I'm going to go up here, and you'll see that the line type is draw. Okay, and then there's a square box there. So we're going to click on that square box, and this is where we choose a different pen. Now, it's lovely because the folks at Cricut have given us all of these choices. We've got extra fine gel, glitter gel, marker, and calligraphy. And then we have all of these lovely colors, which are, believe it or not, colors for all the pens. But at this point, all we have to really do is change the color. And I'll tell you why, because when you have two different colors on the same piece, your machine's going to stop you halfway through after it does the first writing and tell you to put in the other one. And you get to choose what pen you're going to use. So if you want to use a gel pen, or you want to use a marker, or you want to use a thin, a 0.4 or an extra fine tip, it doesn't really matter. The machine doesn't know what pen you're putting in there. They only give us those options for you to see, okay? So in this case, now that I have two different colors, two different pen type colors, what I'm going to do is select this box, the back, and then our two text boxes, and then I'm going to attach. People get so confused about this at the beginning because they think that if they lay it over there on their mat, then that means it's attached, but it's not. And clearly you can do this and see it will come off. But by attaching it, it will make the Cricut know that the writing is going to go onto that square. Okay? So all this stuff, which cuts out brilliantly, and you use the pen and everything, we're probably not going to do that. Maybe I'll just do this piece, and I will group this whole thing, because it does take quite a while for the pen to do. So, all right, let's just cut out these two pieces. Now, normally I cut out two of the same card, simply because when you're cutting out those inserts or the layers on the top, excuse me, you want to use that paper. So here you go. Here's two there, but I'm going to just do one for our purposes of demonstration. So here is the base of the card, and you'll see it's very faint, but this is where the silver is going to go. And then here is our draw and cut insert. So let's go ahead and hit continue, and we will go and choose medium cardstock, because that's what this is. And I am going to leave you on this screen because I want to show you what your screen says. So let's do the insert first. You see I have that selected. Now on this screen it says loaded armadillo pen fine point blade coming up midnight 0.4 pen. Well, actually you cannot see, but I don't have anything loaded except for my blade in there, so I have to put that in. And that's the big difference between the clamps. Okay, so clamp A is the place where you put the scoring stylus and the pens. The machine doesn't know if something's in there or not, okay? But on clamp B, which is where the blade is, if you don't have the correct blade in there, the machine does know, okay? So that's why you can choose whatever pen you like. And we're going to go ahead and, good morning, Eileen. And we're going to go ahead and hit go on this. And what it's going to do is just write the Happy Thanksgiving part at the top. And then I want to show you what it says to me. So while that's writing, because it can be a little bit long, I want to do some viewer mail. So I got two things in the mail. One is from my friend Babs, who is a corgi lover, and she has the most adorable corgi, and her name is Gracie Junebug. I just love her. And so she sent me this darling Gracie Junebug, and I think that she hand colored Gracie. Isn't she cute as a witch? And it's just so cute. So Gracie Junebug. And then she also sent me this lovely card, which I just adore. It's, look at the cat. And then there's sort of a jack-o'-lantern person with all of these little, these are brads they're not brads. What are they? They're, something else. What do you call those? Yeah, Babs. So here she sent me, dear Rita, Mo, Benji, and Teddy Bear, happy Halloween, love, Jim, Babs, Gracie Junebug, and Pumpkin Kitty. And she even put, so this, she's a really interesting crafter because she uses all this like kind of mixed media, which I really love. So thank you so much. I don't know if Babs is watching today, but thank you so much for sending that, Babs. And I'm going to put it in my collection because I couldn't possibly have anything that doesn't have, you know, I have all this Gracie Junebug paraphernalia. I just love her. Okay, so going to interrupt viewer mail and show you what it says. So it's done doing the happy Thanksgiving. So I am going to, and it's stopped, and I'm going to take out my pen, put the cap on there, and then I'm going to use this tawny color, and I'm going to put it in clamp A, and you can hear me holding it and clicking it, David Burrows. And then I'm going to press the flashing C button, and it's going to do the bottom half of my sentiment. Okay, so the next piece of viewer mail came from a viewer named Deborah Mackey. And I got this lovely card. It says, just because. And it says, Rita, just so happy you are done with your treatments. May you continue with great health. Debbie Mackey. And I want to show you, isn't this beautiful? This is vellum. See that? Isn't that beautiful? It's a vellum lace piece. And then she has this just because, which is stamped, and a little bit of ribbon, and then this ribbon here. This is an excellent example of a homemade card. It has quite a lot of features to it, and I really just love it. But there's also another part of her viewer mail, and it is this lovely tote bag. And this is a Cricut, I believe this is a Cricut infusible ink tote bag. And here is, it says hope with this beautiful, and I'm going to say that's a peony because I love peonies, and it looks like one, but I suppose it could be a rose, but it says hope with that. And I love the way that she has layered this. So she has hope, and hope is not all on the back, just the H and the O. And then she put the rose and put the P over the greenery, but under that little part of the leaf, and then the E is over, and then this is in front of it. Isn't it beautiful? I was so pleased to get this, and I wanted to thank Deborah. Thank you so much for thinking of me. I'm definitely going to be using this bag, and I love this technique, and it gives me great ideas for going forward with iron-on. I think sometimes I get a little stuck in my thinking about if I'm going to just do infusible ink, then I only can do infusible ink, and that's not true. I can do infusible ink and iron-on at the same time, and I can use patterned and solids and all of that. So I thank you so much, Babs and Deborah, for sending me this wonderful mail, and hopefully when we start with the card exchange, then I will be able to show you guys our viewer mail, more viewer mail, okay? Okay, Kathy, we've done infusible ink demos and we'd be happy to show you some more. And iron-on and all the other stuff. Try to cover as much as possible given our schedule. So I tend to focus more on cards, but definitely like to do infusible ink as well. So we will show that. Maybe I can try to replicate that project that Deborah sent. Which is an iron-on project. But at any rate, we are done with our inserts. I'm going to take it out of the machine so you can see. So here's our mat, and we're just taking this off here. And see that? It says Happy Thanksgiving, and that's obviously done with a thicker pen, a 1.0 pen, and then with the 0.4 pen, it's done the smaller writing, the more substantial of the writing is there. So let me show you how this goes together. It's fairly simple, but just so clever, and I just really like it a lot. So let me show you how this goes together. I'm going to move you down. All right. Okay. So again, this is the finished card. It has a number, I think it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, possibly 5 layers on the top. And it has this adorable like swirl for whipped cream. And then also this layer has a lot of the lattice works. And then we have this lovely greenish blue or jade or whatever color you want to call that, but it also has this detail writing on the outside. So let me show you what we have here. So we have all of these, layers. So here is the the base of the card, and you'll see here we've got those end up being the whipped cream, and then here is our completed insert, which you can put on before or after. It's up to you, whatever you want to do. And I'm just going to use a little tiny bit of glue just to get that on. Remember, if you're new to card making, you do not need a lot of glue. You want to avoid what can happen with glue, and that is wrinkling or not drying and having it squeeze out on the edges. So here is an example of using just a little bit of glue. So here's our front there, and we've got, this is how the layers go. So our front is here, and then comes the pumpkin colored part, and then comes this tan color part, and then comes this a little bit darker, more of a Kraft paper, then our blue, and then I did it in cream. Now, if you get confused, one of the really good things about Cricut is if you get confused, you can go back and look at the original image, because that's where you'll see all of these designs. Or if you are not near your computer when you're putting it together, one of the things to consider is you always want to be able to, when all of the layers are together, you always want to be able to see some color from each of the layer. Okay, so in this case, we're seeing all layers, and we've got our pumpkin pies here with our little whipped cream, and then we can see that the crust is that deeper Kraft board color, and then we can see that, and then of course the green. So if you get confused, check your original, and that will help you. And if not, just make sure that when you're cutting it out, that every color is showing. So for example, if I put this green in the back, you wouldn't see the green, and so you know that's not the correct layout, okay? I kind of start from the back. So here, this pumpkin is going to be the first layer I'm working on, and I'm going to put a little bit of glue here on the edges, and we can just put, I don't want for the glue to appear over where the cutouts are on the next layer. So here's the next layer, the layer that has all that wonderful lattice. And we're going to position it so that the pumpkin won't peek out here. I did it slightly off. And then let's go to our next layer. Oops. You're going to do better than I will. I just went a little crazy on the glue. And then we're going to put this layer on right over the top, you see? So we still see those little cutouts. The next layer is our green. And that one is just for the sentiment, the give thanks sentiment. And by the way, all this paper is from Michael's. Their Recollections collection of 8.5 by 11-inch paper, which cuts out nicely on all Cricuts. And you can use that for making both size cards. Okay. And let's see what else. Oh, and then my glue. So I'm back to using my art glitter glue, although I haven't abandoned my barely, where is it? Barely Art Precision Craft glue. I did have my shipment of art glitter glue come in from Create for Less. So I decided to use up some of my art glitter glue because I have a lot of it now, which is nice. I'm hold over until the end of the winter. They do not ship during the winter, but they do ship Barely Art Precision Glue in the winter. So I'm going to try to make my art glitter glue last. Okay, so I'm going in between all of these little layers with just a teeny tiny drop. Let me get close so you can see what I'm doing. You see, I put a little tiny drop because I don't want it to squish through the layers. And then I put it on top here. Make sure I lay it on correctly. And because you don't want it to sort of lift here. Now, if you do get some squishies through, you can use like a Q-tip. I often use this because it's what I have hanging around. But to sort of take off some of that squish glue. Thankfully, with art glitter glue and the Barely Art glue, it dries clear. So you could leave it and it would dry clear. Okay, so there's all of our tops, and we are going to put it onto the base of the card. You see how all of a sudden it looks like it has whipped cream. I just love that. So cute. So we're going to put some glue here. Again, just don't need a whole lot of glue to do paper crafts. And I find that most people have trouble with paper crafts because they're using too much glue. So the less is more theory works for this. Okay, so there is our really beautiful card, and then with our little insert on the inside, and it's hefty. I will tell you that it's very hefty on the front, but it stands up very nicely, and it's really very cute. I love all of this writing detail here and here. I hope you do too, and I hope that you will try this card, this Give Thanks card with the 6 pies on it. So I know I'm thinking about going in and making a pumpkin pie this morning because I haven't made any pies yet, and that's a travesty. I'm used to, at least at this point, having made a fruit pie and a squash or a pumpkin custard type pie. So I'm thinking about making a pie today with my free afternoon. All right, everyone, that's it for today of Cricut Chat. I hope you join me tomorrow. We have another great craft, and if you have to watch the replay, thank you. It will be in the, if you're watching it on replay, or if you liked what you saw and you want to watch it again, you can see it on YouTube at Miss Rita to the Rescue, and I always put a link in the description of each video so you can see all the links, including if you want to buy something at Cricut, or you want to buy some glue at Create for Less, or you just want to subscribe to my YouTube channel. So thanks so much for coming today. I hope you have a wonderful day, and again, happy Veterans Day. Thank you to all of our veterans and our spouses of veterans, and anyone that is or has been serving or has served in our military. Appreciate your support and your efforts. Thanks, everybody. You have a wonderful day. Happy crafting and enjoy the lovely day. Take care. Jury duty. But that's that's a service that as a civilian you get to be American, sort of like voting. So jury day. All right, everyone. Have a lovely day, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Take care of yourselves. Bye.